This video is about how to turn cold outreach into actual booked appointments. So specifically, we're talking about what happens after somebody replies and says they're interested in whatever you have to offer. Because at this point, getting positive replies isn't the hard part anymore. The hard part actually becomes getting those people on a sales call with you. Now, going into 2026, attention is fragmented. Prospects are overwhelmed with different offers, AI tools, agencies, automation platforms, and endless solutions for problems. From their perspective, everything sounds similar and it's hard to tell what's actually worth their time. And that creates analysis paralysis. They might be interested, but that doesn't mean they're motivated enough to actually book a call with you. Booking a call is what I call a micro commitment. It is kind of similar to a sale, like a full sale, but it's just a part of the sale because they have to commit time, which is also like committing capital. And this part is where most people fail. So at Scale Sprint, we've sent over 10 million cold emails. And in this video, I'm going to reveal the secrets of how we book appointments with prospects consistently. So stick around until the end of this video because the knowledge I'm going to drop in this video is going to be the type of knowledge that most people don't want you to actually know. A lot of outreach campaigns generate leads and get positive responses, but they only follow up 2 to 5 times and then they stop there. And then they wonder why no meetings are getting booked. If you're doing outreach properly, you should aim to at least book 30% of all positive replies and actually have them convert into real meetings where they show up to the call. And if that's not happening, the issue isn't your lead generation, it's your appointment setting system. Now, there are essentially 4 different situations that you can be in. The worst one is not generating enough leads and not booking enough calls. Slightly better is generating enough leads, but not converting them into meetings. Then there's the scenario where you don't generate many leads, but you convert a high percentage of them into calls, which means that your system works, but your volume is too low. Now, the ideal situation that we want to be in is generating enough leads and converting a strong percentage of them into actual calls. That's what we're trying to achieve, and that's what this video going to enable you to achieve. Now, the first thing is to significantly increase your speed to lead. Interest fades extremely fast, especially in this current environment where people are receiving a lot of emails. If somebody responds to you, there is a genuine chance that 5 minutes later, they've changed their mind. So in the ideal situation, you want to get back to them within 1 minute. And ideally, you'd also want to have an appointment setter who can actually do this, whose only job it is to just sit there and wait for positive responses to land in the inbox. Now, if you don't have that luxury, what you can do instead is use AI to respond. So for example, if you're using instantly.ai, they have an AI agent that you can prompt and it will automatically respond to prospects and answer any questions that they might have based on the information that you have fed the AI. Another option is to use a subsequence, which is basically a sequence that will trigger once a specific word is mentioned. So let's say you reach out to somebody and your call to action is, if you're interested in a demo, just reply with yes, and I will send over a booking link. With a subsequence, you'll be able to automatically respond whenever that particular word is mentioned. So if somebody replies with yes, the system detects that, and then it triggers the subsequence and it will send over the link so that they can book a demo. Now, secondly, it's important to have good reply templates. Responses shouldn't be lacking in substance, and you should have created proven reply templates for all the most common objections that you might get, such as send me more information, what's the pricing, how are you different, etc. If you simply send the same robotic reply to all prospects, there's a good chance that they're going to think that they are talking to a robot and they're not going to be interested in whatever you have to offer. So ideally, you should be drafting replies that are personalized and based on who the prospect is. Now, this is more difficult if you're using subsequences, but if you have an active appointment setter or an AI system to respond on your behalf, this is definitely possible while maintaining a very fast speed to lead. Now, the next thing I'm going to mention is one of the biggest game changers in 2026. So you need to do multi-channel touchpoints immediately with every single prospect. So not only do you want to respond to the leads within 1 minute, ideally you also want to call them and connect with them on LinkedIn within 1 minute. I cannot overstate how much of a difference this makes. This can be the difference between your outreach system not working at all and you actually achieving your growth goals in your business. And I remember myself ignoring a bunch of emails from a specific company that was trying to sell me something, but I ended up buying from them because they hit me on so many different channels and they were calling me, sending me SMS messages, and eventually they were just top of mind. And I was just thinking about it because they constantly were hitting me up on different channels, and I ended up actually moving forward because of this multi-channel approach. People think think that this kind of approach is annoying or it's ineffective because prospects will dislike it. But the truth is you need to be top of mind in 2026. And if you can do that on multiple channels, you're going to be the one that actually beats your competitors because you're simply top of mind. What we do here at ScaleSprint specifically is that whenever we receive a positive reply, that lead will automatically go through a data enrichment tool. So we will find their mobile number, and that mobile number will be pushed into a Slack channel. Then we have an appointment setter, and that appointment setter immediately calls them. And we also have an automation that fires so that I will personally connect with that particular prospect on LinkedIn. So again, we're already engaging the prospect on 3 different channels within 1 minute of them responding. This is a huge game changer. And by the way, if you're interested in getting this entire system set up for you, where we completely run it for you and we book these calls directly on your calendar, then you can check out the link in the description and the pinned comments. So you'll be able to book a meeting with me and we can see if it's a fit. But anyways, back to the video. Now that we've talked a lot about appointment setting, I also want to talk about follow-ups, because in most cases, you will not set the appointment straight away with the prospect. And we need to take these cases into account. When it comes to follow-ups, the vast majority of people are way too careful. They don't like to follow up too frequently. They don't want to be seen as annoying. And that is something that you have to basically break past. And it's a mental barrier that a lot of people unfortunately struggle with. Now, the reason why you want to break past this mental barrier is because the data consistently shows that the more you follow up and the longer you follow up, the more calls you book. Follow-ups can be completely automated, so there's not even any time required to really do this. You just have to set up a solid follow-up system. You might as well just keep sending until they actively say, I'm not interested. So here's what you need to do. You need to consolidate all the most common objections that you typically get from prospects that don't buy from you. Then you need to answer each objection one by one in an email flow. The rationale behind this is that you can eventually find that one objection that is actually holding them back from booking the call. You can address it and actually book the call with them. And most people will not actively tell you what their objection is. So essentially you have to guess. And the way that you guess is by sending them email after email, handling the most common objections that you're getting from prospects. So again, start with the most common objection addressed in one email, go to the second most common objection, handle that in the email after, and so on and so forth. I promise you that you will book way more calls if you set up a flow like this that lasts 90 days and you just keep following up. And all of this can be completely automated on instantly.ai, which is what we use for this purpose. The last thing I want to mention is that if you find it consistently hard to book appointments, despite you implementing solid systems like these, maybe the problem you're solving just isn't urgent enough, or maybe your offer is not compelling. You have to take into account that the issue could also be caused by a lack of product market fit or service market fit, or it could be caused by your offer just not being attractive. So try to make it very easy to say yes, try to get them on that call, reaffirm the value of the call. So do this instead of hard pitching the call and not really providing any real reason why the prospect should even spend 30 minutes with you. But before you start changing your offer, you should do all the things I've mentioned in this video, because in 95% of cases, they will solve this issue if you're not booking enough calls from the leads you're generating. So to summarize everything, here's an example of what this entire flow could look like. So let's say you have your cold outreach system and you're sending out messages and you're receiving positive replies. The first thing to set up would be an integration where every time you receive a reply, the AI will detect if it's a positive reply or not, and you can do that using instantly.ai. If it is a positive reply, then Instantly will automatically send a notification to a Slack channel where your appointment setter is waiting. This can be easily done via Instantly's webhook. Then the appointment setter will log into Instantly and he will respond to the prospect immediately. In addition to this, there will also be an automation where clay.com will automatically find the mobile number of all the interested prospects, and the appointment setter will be able to call the prospects directly on their mobile number. And the script for this call can be very simple. It can just be, hey, I saw that you responded to our message. I wanted to give you a quick call to see what piqued your interest, and I can give you a quick explanation of what we do as well. The goal of this call should simply just be to get the appointment set with the prospect so that they can learn more and you can have their unbroken attention for 30 minutes. If we received no response from the prospect on this particular day, the next day we should already have a follow-up that is firing. And this follow-up should aim to really explain why the call is valuable for the prospect. We want to tell them what's in it for them and what do they actually get out of taking this call. The day after that, we want to send another follow-up which should contain relevant social proof and and really show them that we are a credible provider. Then 2 days after that follow-up, it's a good idea to send them, if you have the capacity for it, a personalized video to the prospect and perhaps give them some sort of front-end offer that is very low friction and easy to commit to. Now, if that doesn't work either, then you want to send them into a 90-day follow-up plan, the one that I talked about earlier, and you want to just consistently answer all the most common objections that they might have, and you want to do this for at least 90 days. And don't worry about seeming too aggressive, because it really does work. We have a lot of data on this. It's what we do internally and it's what we do for our clients. So if you're looking for a company to completely set up your entire cold outreach system, run it for you, and consistently book you 20 to 60 sales calls per month and enable you to grow your business, check out the link in the description or the pinned comment to book a meeting with me. So I hope to see you there, but in any case, thanks for watching and have a good day.